right there is a beautiful bullet hole. That's actually just about as quick as my Matthews. All right, that concludes the build of our Sequel 33. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Avery. This is Avery's Outdoor Adventures. We're a faith-based, family-friendly archery, hunting, and outdoor platform. Today we have a new bow build for you. We're trying the Darton Sequel 33 ST2. This is something I do a couple times a year. I take a new bow, try it against the bow that I currently have, and potentially based on the results, I could change bow companies or stay with what I've got. I did a whole series on Hoyt versus Matthews. Feel free to go check that out. What we're doing today is we're building this bow to be just a general hunting bow. We're going to give it the same general specs that we have given to our Matthews Lift X. I have a video on building that as well. What we're going to do is put this head-to-head against the Lift X to determine what my hunting bow and what my bow brand for 2026 is going to be. So without further ado, let's get into this. As you can see, I've already gone through and tied in one of my soft knots. I did that only because at the shop they put a D-loop on it to test the poundage and draw length. They also checked the timing for me. So to keep the D-loop in the same position, I just took it off and put one soft knot. We'll tie in the other soft knot and the D-loop right now to get us started, get the rest put on, and then we can start making sure that everything is in tune. So let's get this in the press and we'll work on our other soft knot. All right, for our soft knot, I was recently taught a new method. I like it a lot better than what I had done previously, so if you've seen this before on my channel, it is going to be different just because I have found a better way to do it. First thing we're going to do is burn off a small piece of our serving material. That was smaller than I anticipated, but that's okay. Then we're going to take some beeswax, so we'll let the camera focus on that, and we're going to run our material through the beeswax. Just helps the knots get a little bit better grip, so we're going to do that a couple times. Second thing that's different, go ahead and put an arrow on here, is with our soft knots, we are going to do double overhand knots. So we'll go one, well, if I'm coordinated enough to do a knot, that's what we would do. So we're going to do two overhand knots, so once through, twice through. Going to leave just enough space for some travel. It's maybe a little too much. Probably right there is going to be good. Yep, so you see there's just a little bit of space there for it to move. That's pretty solid. Go ahead and tighten that down. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom. So overhand number one, overhand number two. Just tighten that down underneath the previous knot. Then two overhands. One, two. And then to finish it, a square knot. And then remove our arrow, and we'll go ahead and burn off the tag end. All right, now we're going to tie our D-loop. Grab pliers and D-loop material real quick. I'm going to fray out one end of the D-loop material like so. Find our lighter again, which I put down over here. So just to get it on camera, we're gonna light this and let it burn just a second.
Alright, that's one side.
We just want to make sure that this knot is super tight to itself so that whenever we cut this and burn it down, it can't come off. We're going to take just a little off that with my knife, which is over yonder. We're going to take just a little bit off of that because that's a little long. I'm going to fray it out, and I'm just going to burn to get a nice edge. Now just give that a second, and then we'll make it nice and wide. Pull that nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and take our D-loop pliers and make sure our knot is super tight. If I can get it in there. There we go. There we go. While we have this in its position, let's go ahead and put it on the draw board and make sure that everything is good there. All right, that timing is absolutely beautiful, just like Justin at the shop said. I'm gonna go ahead and let this down, and we'll put it in the vise to finish up the build here. All right, one thing I forgot to do completely, which is an absolute dumb thing to forget, but I need to put my peep in before I check my timing. I'm gonna go ahead and move this piece, little string separation, all the way to the top of the string and get our peep put in. We're just gonna soft tie it in for now, and then once we're happy with its final resting place, we'll go ahead and put it in there permanent. That's a rookie move. Never forget the peep. I like my peep a little higher than most people because it gives me a little distance. Maybe isn't the most recommended thing to do, but I'm okay anchoring a little bit low because I've been doing it for years. So I tend to run mine a little higher than most. All right, same thing. I'm gonna do some overhand knots. I'm gonna take some material and run it through the beeswax. We'll get this peep tied in. Then we'll check our timing. Then we'll go to the vise. I messed that up, apologies. Peep gotta go in before I check timing. All right, we're gonna run our string through some beeswax, just so that our knot gets a much better grip. Then we're just gonna run it over 2 knots, or we'll just do single knot. We'll just run it over, do a knot real quick, run it under and around and do a knot. And one more time. And do a double knot. Please note that this is just temporary until I'm 100% confident in where I have it. I tried leaving it like this for a couple years and just have had really bad luck doing that with peeps moving or me questioning whether the peep moved or not. I'm just going to burn that so it stays. Now we're going to check our timing once more. If that's still good, then we'll go ahead and get our equipment on here. Beautiful alignment. So we're just touching, just out. I mean, that's as perfect as it gets, even with putting the peep in after the fact. So what we're gonna do first is put our level on somewhere where it can be nice and flat. You can see we're good there, but we need to come down just a little bit. All right, now that we have that, we'll go ahead and put our bolt in here. Once that's level, we'll give it a good crank. Now we'll just make sure our arrow is level. Looks like it needs to come down just a little bit. And with this hybrid hunter, it's actually quite easy to do. It's got these adjustments on it so that you can do it on the fly. All right, you can just kind of tell by looking at it, it needs to go in just a little bit. So we're gonna make that adjustment now. Get the arrow coming out nice and straight. And we'll measure that real quick for sake of video. All right, now we got the bow in 13/16 and running right through the burger hole, perfectly level. We'll go ahead and put our stabilizers on, our sight on, and then we'll shoot it through paper. Looks like we have two options for mounting the sight. It could also be that one of those is for mounting a quiver, but we're just using the Axcel sight here, so we're gonna take this higher one. Well, this gets everything more forward. I like that better. So. Okay, after just a few small setbacks, we're back. We took off the Matthews side bracket, kind of roughly adjusted the first, second, and third axis of this just so it's close. We'll fine tune that on the vise here in a little bit. For now, let's go ahead and get our stabilizer, front and back, put on and get our drawstring attached to our Hamskea so that we can shoot through paper. The sight is something we can do once this is paper tuned. That way we don't have to move back and forth so many times. So let's go ahead and get our stabilizer set up. For the front stabilizer, I am using a Podium 10-degree down offset bracket. So we'll go ahead and install that. I'm gonna tilt this way. All right, the big thing to do here is to make sure that this is as level as can be. That's gonna affect how it holds. So once that's really level, we'll crank down on it, and then we'll put our stabilizer on. All right, so the way this mounts is a little unique. Obviously you put your stabilizer in your quick connect here, like so, and then this kind of goes in from the side and just crank it down. Like so. We're going with a Podium Archer 12-inch stabilizer, so if I do enter into a modern bow hunter competition here out west, I can use this bow. It just has to have a 13-inch or shorter front stabilizer that is before or after the quick connect. So this is 12 all in, so this should be able to qualify. And then we are allowed to have a rear stabilizer, so we will install that now. So for this, we're actually using a Shrewd back bar, and we're using a Bee Stinger, I think this is a 6 or 8 inch rear bar. It's just one that I had sitting around. It kind of matches my other bars, so I don't hate that, really. And we're just gonna tighten this down in here till it won't tighten no more. All right, now we've got that. Next thing, we're gonna get our Hamskea rest put in position. That way we can start shooting through paper. And all we're gonna do is stick this up under here. like so. Then we're gonna loop our string through it. And run it through a rest, which I can't see. I'll have to do it from the other side. Let's see. Then run it through this right here. And we'll attach our little football. And tighten that down. All right, so that's our build. We still have to shoot through paper and level our sight, so we're gonna go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna take a quick break and reorganize my living room a little bit here so that we can do that. But we've got it in time. We've got our rest centered. We've got our sight roughly leveled, stabilizers installed, and yeah, time to shoot it. All right, this will be my first shot through here. All right, so I just put 2 arrows through paper. Peep needs to come down. I think we fixed that. And looks like we're just the tiniest bit knock low. The cool thing with this rest is that with the micro tune, I can very quickly and easily make a small adjustment down. And we'll shoot through paper one more time. Obviously doing that, now my rest is up, so I'm gonna have to put tension on there, but that's fine. We'll do that real quick and then send it through paper one more time. That right there is a beautiful bullet hole. What we'll do is tomorrow after church, we'll go make a sight tape and get a speed for you guys. Today we're just gonna get a speed real quick and then we're gonna start working on a sight tape. 279, that's not bad at all. I've got this at 60. That's actually just about as quick as my Matthews. I would say that this is at 60 pounds. I have it maxed out. So much easier to draw than the Matthews. I could honestly go up in weight from here, and I've never drawn 60 pounds. So I'm super excited. That's fantastic. We'll shoot a couple more here and then call it a day. All right, that concludes the build of our Sequel 33. Ideally, I want to support Christian brands, and if I can shoot them really well, then that's absolutely a no-brainer for me. So we're going to give this a try versus the Matthews. May the best bow win. Whichever bow wins is going to be my bow for 2026. So I do want to close with 1 John 4:19 says that we love because he first loved us, and I think that summarizes the gospel tremendously. God sent his son down to die for us, to pay a price that we couldn't pay on our own, to live a life that we couldn't live. And because of his love towards us, we're to love others the same way. Really stoked to try this bow. I think it's going to be a really interesting summer and fall as I try out different bows and try to knock things off of my Super Slam list. So if you stayed this long, I appreciate you watching. God bless, and I'll catch you on the next one.